Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is KP, and I identify as a recovering alcoholic. I'm a normal drinker. I always think that I always did too much. I know that everybody's story is different, but I just wanted to share with you that alcoholism, oops, that alcoholism is a disease that's cunning, baffling, and powerful. I do believe that my higher power has helped me stay alive to carry the message. I don't care if it gets to one, two, three. I don't care. As long as the message gets through that you can indeed live without alcohol if it is making your life unmanageable. Can you do it alone? Maybe, but most likely you cannot. Some people think that you can um, just stop, not do any type of program, or at least stay with the group, and that you might be successful. In most cases, that's not true. It's good for you to stay connected and stay honest with yourself. I have to tell myself sometimes every day that I can never drink safely because alcoholism, it doesn't just affect your mind, but it affects your body. And what it says in the big book that it is cunning, baffling, and powerful. One moment, I still have my alcoholism is cunning, baffling, and powerful. There are a few books that I'm going to share on my platform that I think that would be helpful, that I suggest that people get, or even maybe, I don't know if it's like on auto. You can read it on auto tune or auto book or whatever. Auto tune. I don't know, like, is she drunk right now? No, I'm not. Spiritual Awakening, the AA book, the NA book. If NA is your thing, I know a lot of people do not like the structure of recovery, but you can get a lot out of some of these books, such as Living Sober. I like, if you don't want to read the big book, Living Sober is a really good book. It's almost like, I'm going to say it's not a book, it's more like well, I guess it is a book. It's more like a pamphlet. But Living Sober, it's an AA book, and it helps you live day to day. It has like these little inserts. Uh, why not drinking and using this book? Yeah, it's a booklet. It's not really a book. It's a booklet, and it helps you get through the 12 steps and 12 traditions. So I'm going to read something from this book to help you out, and it's to keep an open mind. Okay, so it has about 31 inserts in here. So using this booklet, it teaches you how to use the booklet and to keep an open mind. The Serenity Prayer is really helpful too. It also talks about the Serenity Prayer. So I'm going to read to keep an open mind. It does have a insert about reading this booklet, but to keep an open mind. I know a lot of people don't want to go to AA, but let me just tell you something. It's worked for me. You don't just listen, okay? Keep an open mind. Perhaps some of the suggestions offered here will not appeal to you. If that is the case, we have found that instead of rejecting them forever, it's a better idea just to set them aside for a time. If we don't close our minds to them permanently, we can always go back later and try out ideas we didn't like before if we want to. For instance, some of us found that our initial non-drinking days, the suggestions and um, the suggestions that AA offered, sponsors helped us greatly stay sober. Others Others of us waited until we visited many groups and met AAs before we finally called a sponsor. Some of us found formal prayer a strong aid in not drinking, while others fled from anything that suggested religion. But all of these are free to change our minds on these ideas later if we choose. Many of us that many of us found that sooner we started to work on the 12 steps offered as the program of recovery in the book Alcoholics Anonymous. The the better the book Alcoholics Anonymous, the better. Others of us felt the need to postpone this until we had been sober for a little while. The point is that there is no prescribed AA right way or wrong way. I know a lot of people hear it and they're like, oh my God, you go to one of those AA meetings and it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. That's just crazy. But, it's proved to help people. Even if you just go and listen, like right now, I'm not running an AA meeting, but I am a part of AA and I'm sharing. So you could just close your eyes and pretend you're in one right now, okay? Sometimes an AA member will talk about the various parts of the program in cafeteria style. In cafeteria style. So right now they're telling you about like what you'll hear, selecting what he likes, letting alone what he does not want. Maybe others will come along and pick up the unwanted parts. And that member will go back later and talk to about some previous ideas that they rejected. Like for instance, I'm not working a perfect program, but I'm not drinking. I have a sponsor and we've only I've had 3 sponsors, and just for whatever reason, the first one didn't work out because she had a busy schedule with her kids. The second one, we made it to the 4th step, and, the 3rd one, she is in a relationship, and the days that we need to meet just don't work out, but I feel like she's still my sponsor even though I haven't talked to her in a while. But the point is to stay with the herd. That's what I took away from the program, to stay connected, keep being honest with other alcoholics. Normal drinkers, they don't understand. They really don't understand. People who can drink and put it down and not obsess over, maybe, oh my God, maybe I'll drink that. Maybe I'll drink that. Maybe I'll have some more. Um, they don't understand, and that's okay. That's why it's good to speak to those who have the same struggle as you. I can't identify with someone who probably has a different type of drug addiction. But what I can identify with is the compulsion of the addiction of like you just can't stop, and you just can't stop and you go back to it. And so, some people will say that, oh, even though I use a certain drug, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink. But if they start having a drink, it may lead them to the drug of their choice. So I have to say, try to stay away from that first drink. If you don't have, I always hear in AA, if you don't have that first drink, you can't get drunk. And I really, really like that part. Staying away from the first drink. Expressions commonly heard in AA: if you don't take that first drink, you can't get drunk. And one drink is too many, but 20 are not enough. That really resonates with my disease. I understand that. I don't know if you out there have had struggles with alcohol. And hold on, we need to be getting going to go to school. Let me see if these boys are ready. Okay, they're not ready. So yeah, one is too many, but 20 are not enough. That is so true. Because if you take that first drink, it could just, some people think if they have success with that one drink, they're like, oh, I'm fine. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not going to fall back into um, my behaviors. Hold on. Okay. So many of us, when we first began to drink, never wanted or took more than one or two drinks. But after time went on, we increased the number. Then in later years, we found ourselves drinking more and more. Some of us getting and staying very drunk. Maybe our condition didn't always show in our speech or our gait, but by this time, we were never actually sober. If that bothered us too much, we would cut down or try to limit ourselves to just one or two, or switch from hard liquor to beer or wine. At least we tried to limit the amount. We would not get too disastrously drunk, or we would try to hide how much we drank. But all of these measures got more and more difficult. Occasionally, we went on the wagon and did not drink at all for a while. Eventually, we would go back to drinking just one drink. And since that apparently did not seriously damage, did no did did no serious damage, we felt it was safe to have another. Maybe that was all we took on that occasion. It was a great relief to find that we could take just one drink or two, then stop. Some of us did that many times. See, that is the part of the disease that's cunning, baffling, and powerful because it really will lie to you and say, hey, guess what? You can take one drink and you've been fine. Nothing happened. But the experience proved to be a snare. It persuaded us that we could drink safely. And when there would come the situation, some special celebration, a personal loss, or no particular event at all, when two or three made us feel fine, so we thought one or two more would not hurt. And with absolutely no intention of doing so, we found ourselves drinking again too much. We would fight back. We would right back to where we had been over drinking without really wanting to. Such repeated experiences have forced us to this logical, inescapable conclusion. If we do not take the first drink, we never get drunk. Therefore, instead of planning never to get drunk or trying to limit the number of drinks or amount of alcohol, we have learned to concentrate on avoiding only the first drink, the first one. The effect, instead of worrying about limiting the number of drinks at the end of a drinking episode, we avoid the one that starts it. Yeah, that one that starts it, you might put it down and then you might go back to it the next week and it will start an avalanche of just continuous drinking and you cannot stop and it causes problems in your life. Okay, I got to get these boys to school, so let me finish this up. Um, are you guys ready? You are? Okay, I'm going to go down to the car and bring this with me. Um, Instead of trying to figure out how many we could handle, 4, 6, a dozen. We remember we don't pick up that first drink. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to be reading some of these examples from living sober here and there, and I'm going to be cut as much as I come for my workouts. I'm also going to come here and talk about alcoholism and staying connected, and encouraging everyone to go to listen to meetings or listen to someone's story here on YouTube. That's how I started. That's what encouraged me to start my channel, because I was like, oh my gosh, I was going through it with this disease, and I just couldn't stop drinking, and I wanted to stop and I couldn't stop. And so uh I I detoxed myself, which is insane. Thank God I'm still alive. That's a whole nother story. I might touch on it a little bit and tell you guys, don't ever, if you ever get to the point to where you are if you ever get to the point to where you feel like you need some help with detox, don't ever detox yourself, because it is very difficult. So talk about that. Don't detox yourself. Excuse me, I have to get some food. My son, he's a chef, and he cooks some good food. Thank you. The skirt steak is delicious. I will stop eating so much of it. Mm-mm-mm. Sugar-free Red Bull. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, let's go. Yeah, you don't want to be late. Okay, just got a few short weeks left, and we are into the summer. All right, let's get out of here. You guys, if you grab yourself some snacks in the cabinet there, if you guys want to grab something. Okay? All right, let's go. Let's get out of here, guys. Oh, that's another thing I'm grateful for. When I was in my disease, my kids would always be late to school, y'all. They would. And or they would always be late to school. I'd be cranky in the morning because I'd be hungover. And I started to become a morning drinker. So, I try my best not to have a drink before I took them, but there was sometimes where I ain't gonna lie, I'd wake up and I'd probably have some whiskey with my coffee, so I wouldn't have the shakes. And yeah, detoxing yourself is no fun. If I could do it all over again, I probably would have went to the hospital or something, because I did have some light. I'm gonna say, I think I had some seizures while I was by myself. I did sweat a lot, and I was like, I feel like I was hallucinating, but I got through it. Um, I got through it only to relapse again, and because I tried to detox myself in 2016. So I detoxed myself December 2016 because I had this premonition that I was going to die. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die of this shit. I'm going to die of alcoholism because I could not stop drinking. And I had a serious talk with God. I was like, Lord, at the time I was 36 years old, and I was like, God, I do not want to die like this. Help me out of this cycle. I can't stop drinking, and I've never obsessed over anything. I was 36 years old, and so I knew that there was people around me. There was some people that I knew that suffered from alcoholism, and I saw them struggling, and I was feeling like I was starting to struggle like them. And so I detoxed myself. I remember December 13th of 2016. And I lasted all the way until, I think, I don't know, maybe New Year's. I started back up. So I had like 2 weeks, but I documented and um I journaled that whole time. And so I'm going to read that when I get those together, because I think it's really cool that I have that journal from 2016, and I documented like day by day how I was feeling, and it was so brutal. I don't wish this on my worst enemy. I pray that you get the help. So I said that to say that I detoxed myself in 2016 only to relapse again in 2017, and I relapsed really bad. Um Yeah, I kind of, I blacked out. I drank dangerously for a whole 30 days. I went on a binge and I almost died in 2000 and 2000, and I always tell this story. 2017, it was November. It was February 2nd of 2017, and I almost died. I stepped out of the car when my husband at the time was driving. My kids were in the car, and I hit my head. I stepped out the car because I thought it stopped, and I thought I was getting away from this conversation. And it's so crazy because bits and pieces of this accident, it comes back to me over time. And the I used to just only remember just waking up in the hospital because I was in an induced coma for about 4 days, and I was in ICU for 9 days. And the only thing I remember is seeing, like literally seeing the concrete, like my eyes like get close to the pavement, and then I don't remember anything else. I had to be airlifted to a trauma center, a trauma hospital. And this is how I knew that I was so sick with alcoholism. After that accident, the doctors and nurses, they came up to me with these pamphlets about alcoholism. They're like, "Do you think you have a problem with alcohol? Do you think you have a problem with alcohol?" And I mean, I was interviewed with CPS, but eventually the case, it wasn't really a case. The investigation was dropped. Uh I was very defensive about my drinking. I was like, "What do you mean? Like, I don't got a problem." Um, but I did have a problem. And I will continue to have a problem if I lie to myself that I can drink safely. I'll never be able to drink safely again. And the reason why I know I have a problem is because after 60 days after that accident, I started to drink like I didn't almost die just 60 days prior. And I had shame about it, and I had a feeling that I wasn't doing something. I was doing, and I was kind of, I blamed everybody else but myself. I didn't take accountability. I was like, oh, well, my husband, he keeps buying alcohol and bringing it around me. He didn't make me drink anything. I could have said no. But I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a part of whatever he was doing and whatever everybody else was doing. I didn't want to feel different, but I was killing myself, you know? And then after I binge drank for, let me see, not November. I keep going to November. February of 2017, I drank all the way until December 31st of 2017 was my last drink. And I was just drinking so much and I could not get drunk. And I feel like God was trying to tell me something. He was trying to show me something like, look what you're doing. You're poisoning yourself and you're not even having fun. Like I was trying my best to get drunk. I was drinking champagne, whiskey, vodka, and I just could not get a buzz. But I felt sick. And and God was like, why do you keep doing what you're doing? And I don't have to save you. So I stopped drinking December 31st of 2017. That was my last drink. And my sobriety date is January 1st of 2018. And I need to find my sobriety date for weed. That that right there is a challenge because sometimes I'm like, gosh, I just want to smoke a blunt or I just want to, eat an edible because it was really hard for me to not smoke weed. And I don't even know. I still don't want to say that that's going to be forever because I never felt like I had a problem with it. However, since I've stopped, I've been a successful student, and I know that going into the medical field, it would be easy to just get a job or start my externship because they drug test you. And so it's been several months since I've rolled a blunt or smoked some weed. And so I don't know. That's still, I'm going to say, excuse me, that's still a struggle for me to decide if that's going to be a forever thing. It really is. Uh, so, okay, here come these boys. Here come my boys. We are ready. I'm going to study my, I'm going to study for my final. Oh, hey, baby. Well, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you're painstaking about this phase of your development, you'll be amazed before you're halfway through. You're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. You will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. You will understand the word serenity and you will know peace. No matter how far down the scale you've gone, you will see how your experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self pity will disappear. You will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in your fellows. Self seeking will slip away. Your whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave you. You will intuitively handle situations which used to baffle you. You will suddenly realize that God is doing for you what you cannot do for yourself. Are these extravagant promises we think not? They're being fulfilled sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They'll always materialize if you work for them. And these are the 9th step promises that I've learned from AA. And I always get tickled and smile when it comes to that part. You will handle situations which used to baffle you, because I used to be the person that always had to have the last word if you said something to me. So I really think that that the programs help me have a tough skin on this app, because I think about some of the things that people say to me, and I don't know, maybe people think that I'm crazy how I react to it, but it doesn't bother me. I would I used to want to maybe cuss the person out or curse at them back, but it's like, no, it's so much, it's not even necessary. Um yeah, I'm very grateful of my newfound freedom and my newfound happiness. And I hope and pray that you guys out there that are struggling with whatever you're struggling with, whether it's chemical dependency or alcohol, or I guess that would be chemical dependency. Whatever struggle you are dealing with, even food addiction. People have food addictions too. Is your brother almost ready? Like, did you see where he was at? Okay, good, good. Not gonna be impatient and honk the horn, because I know he hates when we do that. All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys later. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You want me to drop you off first? I think it'll be okay, because it's 8:04 already. All right. Oh, can't believe it's raining. It's almost June, but I guess we get little rain in May too. Feels like April. All right, I guess I'm gonna end this live now. See you guys later. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and I'm gonna be coming with sobriety workouts and also some commentary on the sectors that I've been paying attention to, and very surprised about certain mothers on this app yesterday. I was on this app, but I wasn't on this app, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Talk to you later. Bye.